Hey, so a brief update. I am currently in Badrinath, which is a town where we will be shortly starting our hike to get to base camp. And before coming, I decided I wanted to make a climbing movie documentary, which I've never done before and got really excited about. So today I want to share exactly why I have been so stressed in the last 2 months in order to purchase and learn how to use a lot of camera gear that I was unfamiliar with, and why my backpack will be super heavy on the approach today. I literally have like 25 pounds of camera gear in it. And I'll just go through every piece of the camera gear so that you understand how crazy I got. But I do not like half-assing things, and if I'm making a documentary, I want to make sure that it is of highest quality, and I have all the things that I need in order to make that happen, and I know how to use them. I will go over every single camera I got, every single piece of gear, and why it's important. And these pieces are quite nice to have if you're doing, smaller trips. And this could be an important video to watch for anyone that is looking forward to step up their camera game. I've been a photographer for quite a long time, and video is new to me, but I've done so much research and so much practice that I feel like currently I have one of the best setups that I can think of when it comes to quality of what I have, what I brought here. So let me start by showing you. The drone that I have is DJI Mavic Mini 5, which is a very capable and small device. It does, 4K, 60 frames per second video recording. Yeah, it's of highest quality, and the range of flight is really good. It has a maximum altitude of about 120 meters from the ground, but it could fly all the way up to over 6,000 meters on the regular battery. And there's the joystick for it. I got two um, two headlamps for this trip, which is the Phoenix HM62T and a night core. Night core is a small rechargeable headlamp. I got a light to conduct an interview. I actually did an interview with Karn, who is our expedition logistics organizer and an alpinist from India. A great guy. You may have heard of him from his part in the Himalayan ice documentary, which came out a few years earlier. And then I brought a DJI Mic Mini in order to basically record good sound. Then I don't even know where to begin. There's so much shit. I have 3 power banks that I brought. I may have a fourth one. I'm pretty sure I have a fourth one, but I'm not gonna look for it. For my small camera, which I am planning to take en route, since I am a Fujifilm ecosystem user, I decided to purchase X-M5, Fujifilm X-M5, which is a small mirrorless camera. And I'm not going to be using this lens on it for the route, but I brought a small 23 millimeter pancake lens, which is, I believe, only 88 grams. And my mirrorless camera is about 320 grams. It does 6K video recording in open gate, which it's video first camera. I would not call it a great camera for people who want to do pure photography. If you are into pure photography, I would consider there other cameras like TX103 Maybe I'm not getting the model right. I've been an X-T5 user for a long time, but because I wanted a camera that does video well and photography well, I updated to their X-H2. They also have an X-H2S, which is definitely a video first camera, but I want to photograph in 40 megapixels. So, and this camera, I also got a killer deal on. You can get them used for a lot cheaper than they used to be available for. And currently I am running it with a 27 millimeter 1.2 lens by Viltrox, which is a beast. Like this lens is amazing. I really love it. I do all my interviews on it, and it would be equivalent to a 40 millimeter full frame lens, which is perfect for things like portraits, interviews, background separation, like photographing subjects. There is this large charging case that comes with it, and my camera bag could have been smaller, but it actually has everything I need, and even a little rain hood that I can put on it. So the charging case for X-M5 is this, and there's 2 extra batteries that I brought with me to run with that, and I brought an extra battery for my X-H2, Fujifilm X-H2, my main big mirrorless camera that I'm doing my interviews on, and I will be doing my astrophotography, all the photography in base camp and around base camp, but obviously I'm not gonna take it much farther than that. I'm not that strong or crazy. For the route, I bought an Insta360 Ace Pro action camera, which is very powerful, and also I was able to pick it up for $200 used from Marketplace. It's a great investment. There's a ton of cables that I brought in order to charge all this shit, and this is probably like not even half of them. I have a nice tripod that I have for my main camera, and I also have a plastic lighter tripod that's not with me in the room right now. It's in the car. The best camera for taking videos every day is this DJI Pocket 3. It has incredible specs and quality for recording 4K video up to 120 frames per second. Yeah, like I said, the quality is better than any action camera, and I would say very comparable to some of the best full frame cameras out there if you want to vlog. Like if you wanted to start making talking head videos on YouTube, you can just buy this and not worry about getting a mirrorless or a full frame camera. This has more than most people will need, in my opinion. For my camera lenses, I brought a variable ND filter, which is basically if you're trying to shoot at 60 frames per second in daylight and stop down to 1.2 on your aperture, you will need something to, this is basically like sunglasses for your camera. It's really important to have something like this in order to obtain a proper exposure. Otherwise you will be overexposed and not even be able to see your subject, or you will have to bring up your aperture or shutter speed, and a lot of the times you want to bring it down to create some background separation, if that makes any sense. I didn't even mention that for the drone I have 4 batteries that are outside the drone, so 5 total. There's 1 battery in the drone, and then there's 4 here. and charging case and carry case, and then I have a carry case for my lenses, for my full frame, for my mirrorless cameras. It's quite a lot of stuff. And for the other lenses that I brought for my Fujifilm cameras, I brought the 70 to 300, which is, a great lens to get something far in the distance. It would be like a 450 millimeter equivalent on a full frame camera, because mirrorless cameras are cropped sensors, they're not the same. I brought another Viltrox 56 millimeter 1.2, which is another amazing camera to photograph subjects, portraits, do interviews if you want. But out there, like, I don't want to use a camera like a 56, a lens like a 56 millimeter, because I am doing a travel documentary. I want to include some of the background. At times I don't even want to blur it all the way, because if you blur everything in the background, like, what's the point? You want to include the location as part of the story, when, at least for what I want to do with as I'm capturing interviews out in the wild. But every filmmaker and artist, I don't know if I can call myself an artist quite yet. I haven't created shit when it comes to films, but every artist has their own style and what they're looking for when they are recording. And that's the vision I have, and it makes sense in my mind that if I'm recording people in the beautiful places, I want to include some of that beauty in the interview. I don't want to completely blur it out and create an interview where it could have been done in my backyard. Like, honestly, like, if I use a 56 millimeter, which is like an 85 or something on a full frame, and I blur the hell out of the background, like, you won't even know where the person is. So there's another 13 millimeter 1.4 Viltrox, which I love as well. Like, all these Viltrox lenses are quite incredible, but this one I got specifically for astrophotography and landscape photography, because it is so wide. And I also have headphones, a couple different ones. I actually have a third as well, but I don't even know where they are. And I actually think that is it, which is surprising. And I'm also recording on my phone. So for a total, let's count how many cameras do I have, including this iPhone I am recording on right now. It's 1, X-M5, drone is 2, Osmo Pocket 3 is 3, and then action camera 4, and full frame, mirrorless X-H2 is 5, and I guess my phone is 6. Man, this is crazy. I've never done anything like this. But every single piece has its own purpose, because, phone is also your GPS. It can also be your camera. It can do a lot of things. I store my beta on it. Then the small mirrorless camera will go on the route. The large one will not. And the large one is basically for interviews and base camp photography, astrophotography, landscape photography. Drone is to show where you're at, to establish the location, provide cinematic shots from above, and The Osmo Pocket 3 is probably the most used camera so far for me because it's so small. I don't have to make anyone uncomfortable if I want to do some recording right on the street. If I'm walking and I like take it out and start recording with it, it doesn't um, scream like, "Oh, there's a person recording. Let's get weird about it." Because when you take out a big camera, it makes people less comfortable, which is totally understandable. I'm not comfortable on cameras, and if somebody on the street just pulled one out and started doing something like probably recording me, I would get kind of uncomfortable and maybe even ask them like, "What are you doing?" But a recording with this is very easy and it's of highest quality, and all I have to do is basically just take it out of my camera and it's ready to go. When I'm taking out a mirrorless camera, because I use it in manual mode at all times, I always have to adjust my aperture, ISO, everything um, for what I'm trying to shoot. So this gives me great flexibility to be fast and start recording action basically as soon as I take it out of my pocket. And the action cam, obviously, will do some recording on the route, even though I don't even know how much of it will we want to use on the route, because action cam footage kind of sucks. I feel like if we can record each other from the side or even from below, it will be better. And then if we provide a couple action camera shots in film, it will be good enough, and I wouldn't want to use too much of that footage anyway, because it's just not fun to look at. Yeah, that is pretty much it. My 25 pounds of shit that I will have to carry to base camp on my back, because I will definitely not trust this expensive gear to porters who throw your bags like it's a giant bag of shit. So yeah, it's too expensive, it's too valuable, um, and I will want to use some of these things on the hike anyway. So yeah, hopefully this was somewhat informative, and see you in another time.